Welcome into Extra Innings. I'm Taylor Gattoni with one of the voices of the Lansing Lugnuts. We have Adam Jackson here because Jesse Goldberg-Strassler is not here.
It feels so incomplete. Where's the other chair?
I know, we're missing a person. But this also brings me to the point of the whole past series, okay? Jesse's starting it off, then he's gone. You come in, and then there's wins. Give me the recap.
Not all heroes wear capes,
okay.
Taylor.
Right.
We have learned that when Jesse misses a series and I do games by myself, the Lugnuts lose. And then when Jesse does a series by himself, the Lugnuts lose. So the combination, we just need to be together. They lost the first two games of the series, but 4 straight wins for the Nuts. The offense came alive, and the Lake County Captains are in first place in the Eastern Division. They're going to the playoffs. Yet Lansing has now beat them all 3 series this year. They finished the record against the Captains 12-6 after losing the first 2. They've got their third 4-game winning streak of the season.
Okay, so what is up with that, with the Lake County Captains going to the playoffs, and what does that mean for the Lugnuts?
I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me.
You're the expert, okay? We're here to ask you.
I think, these are the 2 best offenses in the league, the Captains and the Lugnuts, and Lansing's offense reigns supreme in these 2 meetings. So it's a good matchup for the Nuts. I wish they could play the Captains all 132 games, but to beat them now 3 times, Lake County had won 6 straight series at home until Lansing came to town this week. So for whatever reason, when they go to East Lake, Ohio, it is a hitter-friendly park, and the Nuts were hitting a lot of home runs this week and scoring a lot of wins.
One of those, Johnny Butler up to bat. He is crushing it with home runs.
Johnny Barrels is what they call him.
All right, nickname.
That's right. He was the ACC batting champ at NC State. He's been up and down this year, but they've moved him into the top hole, and he is now the first Lugnut that has had 2 home runs in 1 game this year. Had 3 home runs this week, and he really sparked Lansing, a 13-4 win that they got on Thursday. And again, they didn't lose the rest of the way.
All right, so good job for Johnny Barrels over there with the nickname. And he's not the only one that did well during this past series. There was also Morales up on the mound.
Yeah, well, Luis Morales actually pitched in the Futures game. It was pretty exceptional. Saturday night was the Futures game in Arlington as we hit the All-Star break. So Luis Morales, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, he had an opportunity to go down to Arlington, Texas, and he pitched 2/3 of an inning. So it was really cool. The entire team was watching during the Lansing Lugnuts batting practice. They had this phone out there in the dugout. You can see the picture here. That is Noah Huff, our athletic trainer, and his arm was pretty sore by the end of that half inning. But Craig Conklin and all of the guys right there watching Luis, he gets 2 strikeouts, and you could hear so much enthusiasm from the dugout. They were cheering him on. And the other cool thing, all of the prospects that were in the game, they repped their minor league team hat. So the Lansing Lugnuts logo and team cap was being worn by Luis, the youngest player for the AL team, just 21 years old.
All right, go Nuts. Got to represent.
All the way down in Texas. Everything's
okay.
Bigger down there.
There we go. Go big or go home. He went big, and now he is home. There we go. Anything else you want to recap on this past series with the Lake County Captains? I
think it's just Lansing is back in the mix, right? There's a first half winner that goes to the playoffs, and then there's a second half winner. And Lansing lost their first few games of the second half in Beloit. They're now almost caught up. They're 10-11, nearly back to 500, and they hit this stretch of 4 straight days off as we hit the All-Star break with a ton of momentum. I mean, they've won 4 straight games, and now it feels like just 3 games back of first place. They are back in the mix to potentially, with just 45 games left. Yes, that's it, 45 to go, that maybe they can make some noise here.
You're making it sound like me and Crystal really need to show up. Right, Crystal? Okay, we got to go. We're at the Lug. Okay, but you're wearing the A's, so I just have to point that out real quick. Tell me, the A's are making some moves.
They are making some news. The Major League Draft was last night at 7 o'clock. I know you know this. You were following deeply, right?
Oh, of course.
Well, the A's had the 4th overall pick, they had the 40th overall pick, and the 73rd overall pick. They took all college players. Wake Forest and LSU represented their 4th pick. Nick Kurtz, big power hitter from Wake Forest. He led the nation last year in college baseball with 78 walks. First baseman, the A's are really excited about him. Then they got Tommy White, who is another power hitter, a third baseman from LSU. And then Gage Jumps is a lefty pitcher. So you got 2 big hitters and a pitcher, and I don't know if you've heard their nicknames. Pretty awesome. So
let's hear it.
We got Nick Kurtz, Nikki Nukes,
Okay.
and then Tommy White, Tommy Tanks. So we're expecting these guys to be Lugnuts potentially in a couple of weeks. So hopefully Jackson Field turns into a little bit of a war zone with some big home runs from these guys.
All right, we want the balls flying over the fence, okay? And we want all of those runs.
Absolutely. It's cool when the A's go get college guys, because if they're college guys, when they sign, they're usually more ready, so they skip the A level, which is Stockton, and they come right to Lansing. So the Nuts have a good chance to potentially get all 3 guys if they sign with the A's here in the next couple of weeks.
Huge for those 3 players and also huge for the Lugnuts.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about, we've got 45 games left. This team is right there in the mix for the playoffs, and now you're adding some early draft round talent potentially to come up, add some bats, maybe an arm. And then the draft is today, the draft is tomorrow, still more players that the A's will get.
How do you think they'll be when they get to Jackson Field, right? It's different when you're moving up, when you're in the environment.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, honestly, as mentioned, they're college ready, right? So they already went through high school. They went through college. And you got 2 guys out of the SEC. LSU, they were the World Series champs in 2023. They won the College World Series in Omaha. And then Wake Forest out of the ACC, that's another good conference. So we talked about Johnny Butler being from NC State out of the ACC. These guys usually are more ready because they're playing competitive, really tough baseball down in the South. So I think certainly they could add some help right away for the Nuts.
All right, so they have all of that experience. Moving forward, you have a few days off, and so do the Lugnuts. They have the All-Star game, and that's coming up this weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's to look forward to?
Off days first. I don't really know what to do. No baseball. So if you have any recommendations. Friday is Faith and Family Night. The Great Lakes Loons are coming down, so that's a good family night to come out. And then Saturday, Jesse would be too humble to tell you how hard he works every single year. It is the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He puts this all together for the Michigan Baseball Hall of Fame, and it is the stress of his life every year. But
Jesse doesn't seem like he gets stressed, okay? He's full of energy all the time, like enthusiastic, positive guy.
It's a big project that he started, and it goes back to 2015. So this is the 10th induction this year, and we'll have 4 new members going into the Michigan Baseball Hall of Fame. Here's the cool thing, and another reason you should come out to Jackson Field. 360 concourse, so in left field are all the plaques aligned for all 26 members. Number 27, 28, 29, and 30 will be added to the collection this Saturday. They have a nice get-together in the View right before the game. Jesse hosts it. They're honored down before the field. There's videos that are playing. So you talk about the great history of baseball in the state of Michigan and greater Lansing area. It comes out in full force on Saturday. And again, Jesse, he does such a great job putting it all together. So those are the first 2 days. If that's not enough for you, then we've got a Capital City Markets Kids Day. And I myself have never watched Bluey before, but I heard the kids love it. It is Bluey Day on Sunday.
Gotta love Bluey Day. I know I've heard kids loving it. I know that the animals love it too. It's I can't say I've fully watched it, but if you're a kid or an animal, I'm sure, take them to the ballpark. There you go.
Well, you wore your blue today, so
I wore my blue today, yes. Oh, and then the microphone fell right there, but that's okay. But yes, got the blue because it was raining earlier, so I had to tie into the theme. Anything else happening at Jackson Field or with the Lugnuts that you want to highlight?
I think that's it. I think we can't wait to see the fans. We've been on the road for a little bit for 6 days, and now a good reset. Some of the guys will get to go home. They'll get to spend some time with family and friends because it is a grind from April until September. So this is the longest break of the year, and then we're right back at it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the best park in the league.
Do you think this break, because sometimes when you stop the momentum, you got to regain it, or do you think this is a well-needed break where they get that rest and then they'll be fresh back at the field?
What do you think? I'm a mind reader or something? I don't know.
I don't know. You're the expert, so I want to know what you're seeing out there.
No, I really do think it is a good reset for the guys. I mean, they are playing every single day except for Monday off days. So they had a stretch, too, where they just played 12 straight games through the week of July 4th. So I think this is a perfect reset. Get some time off, away from baseball. It's a real mental game. Sometimes you're overthinking. Get away from it, come back, ready to go, refreshed on Friday, and hit the final 45 games of the year and see if you can make the first playoff push since 2018.
All right. Well, that means you need a large attendance at Jackson Field. So let's get the people out there, and we're going to cheer on the Nuts. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Nuts! All right. Thanks for joining us on Extra Innings.